So let's talk a little bit about TNA Slammiversary 2012 pay-per-view. Slammiversary 10, I think it is. This is their 10th anniversary or something. I don't know. Who gives a shit? But before we get into the card, let's talk about the Hall of Fame thing that they're gonna do. It still makes me laugh. What the hell? Supposedly Christian is supposed to be on hand. Wait, think that maybe he might be the Hall of Famer that they're going with?
Possibly. I mean, it's kind of a sad reach for them to make him their first inductee.
Right.
I like Christian, but he's not how you start a Hall of Fame,
No, he's a future Hall of Famer in WWE, but the key word is future.
and he's not the inaugural class.
No, he's not the let's make him. I mean, WWE started with Andre the Giant, which makes sense.
Yes.
Or, if they would have started with Hulk Hogan, it would have made sense, or anything like that. TNA starting with Christian. If they do, I mean, they could do worse. They could start off with
Hulk
Shark
Hogan.
Boy, like we were talking about, or they could start off with Don West, one of the old announcers. Like they could do worse, but with TNA, the motto "they could do worse" doesn't necessarily mean what they are doing is good. It's just that they could fuck up even more than they already do. If Christian is there, I would laugh my ass off if he brought the Intercontinental Championship with him and was just like, yeah, I won the TNA title and I was the heavyweight champion there, but then I went to WWE and I won the ECW title, and then I won that world title twice, and now I'm the Intercontinental title, and right now the ECW title is defunct, but it means more than the TNA title. So I have no idea, but that'll be interesting at the very least, and I'm sure I'll be talking about that during the pay-per-view about what's funny. So check out the chat box and the live results and all that, and we'll go over the Hall of Fame shit next week as well. But on the card itself, now it's going to be a little interesting segment because I don't watch Impact, so I don't know exactly what's going on with these feuds, and you don't watch Impact or the pay-per-views, so it
We'll
kind of
do what we
shows
can.
it kind of shows right there the interest that most people have on this. I mean, we're people that watch wrestling and do a wrestling podcast and don't even have enough time. But we have the time. It's just we don't want to.
Nah, just not really.
Yeah. But first things first, we have Kid Cash versus Hernandez. And to explain what this is about, this wasn't even listed on a lot of the things that I looked up for the card. So this is kind of being overlooked as it is. I have no idea why these two are having a match together. I don't care. I forgot that Hernandez was even still employed. Same thing with Kid Cash. My guess is this is a way to reintroduce Hernandez, and Hernandez is going to win because he's big and he's got more potential than Kid Cash for his future. Kid Cash is a little bit older, so whatever.
If something was overlooked on TNA, how did you even look it up? I'm sure you couldn't have Googled it.
It came up on their website, but it wasn't listed under Wikipedia even. Wikipedia updates faster than a lot of other websites. So the Wikipedia people that will edit everything when you put it up immediately didn't even feel the need to add this match at the time. Uh, then we have the undefeated Crimson is doing an open challenge, and he actually has been talking about Goldberg lately because of his undefeated streak and all that, and saying that Goldberg's not going to take the challenge and everything like that. I don't think Goldberg will, but I don't think it's because of some oh I don't want to put over the Crimson guy or anything like that. I think it's just a matter of Goldberg not ever being really into the business. He was more just looking for a paycheck and everything. But whoever Crimson faces, if it's not somebody like Goldberg, then he should at the very least win. You don't do an undefeated streak and have him lose to somebody who doesn't necessarily need a push. So I can't think of anybody right now that could use a push that could have him beaten. But honestly, unless they do something fast with Crimson, I wish that they would just get rid of the undefeated streak. So I don't know.
I feel like streaks in general kind of hinder what the creative team can do. They have to really work around the streak to make sure everything's intact. And I mean, I don't know how much of a creative team TNA actually has, but I
The
mean,
key words they're creative. They have a team.
but you understand what I'm saying? It really limits your possibilities.
Right, you can't have him immediately face somebody who's a main eventer and have him destroy the main eventer unless you want to really put him over. And then you can't have him face the same people that's left on the card and just have him continually beat Eric Young or something like that because then it gets boring. So I don't know. Maybe
You wouldn't want TNA to be boring.
maybe they'll have Crimson beat every one of Ryback's opponents over the past month all at one shot.
Oh, that two was greater than one guy was the man.
Yeah, they should have him beat Crimson. What the hell? Why not?
That'd be hilarious.
But he'll go for a pin count, pinfall, and on the 2 count he'll get up and he'll be like 2 is better than 1, and then go back down for the 3. After that we have Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries, the guy who saves pretty much every pay-per-view from being a complete boredom for me. But then he's going to face Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe is kind of 50-50. If he's on par, he's good, and if he isn't, he's terrible. So I don't know if Aries and Joe are really going to work too well together. You got a small guy against a big guy, but Joe's pretty quick, so he might be able to match up. Aries is one of the most entertaining people they have in TNA right now, so this is actually the match I think is probably going to be the best, if not the second best at the very least, between everything on the card. Looking forward to it. Austin Aries should win, so I don't know. We'll see. What do you think?
Honestly, I know less about this than anything else that you talked about so far.
Hmm. There you go. After that, we have Robbie E and Robbie T, the two Jersey Shore people, versus TNA's TV title champion Devon versus not versus with his tag team partner Garett Bischoff, who was supposed to be the next future guy in the company to really take the reins, and now he's tagging with the TV champion who isn't defending the TV title against two people that are supposed to be arguing with each other. So there you go. Robbie E and Robbie T have been arguing, I think, still, hopefully, because of what happened at the last pay-per-view. So I hope that that means there's a collapse and that's how they lose the match. That would logically be the option to go with, but then again, it's TNA, so for all we know, a bear could run in the middle of the ring and win the TV title in a tag match for.
I better start watching if Bears start winning matches.
If a bear becomes a TV champion, I will watch Impact. I'll give you that.
Cuts a better promo than half of them.
So yeah, I'm expecting Robbie E and Robbie T to lose this match. Do you know anything about these two or these four?
No, not really.
Blind guess. Who do you think would win? Just out of their names, then.
Bischoff. I know who Bischoff is.
So that's enough for that match. Then we move on to Bully Ray versus Abyss, otherwise known as Joseph Park, because he's playing a character of his brother now in a suit, looking like a little bit of a pushover and everything like that. Uh, I want Bully Ray to win, but Joseph Park will probably end up winning because that's the motivator of the whole storyline is that character. So you have to have something like that. Maybe he just admits that he's Abyss, pulls out the whole storyline from the rug. I don't know. I don't care about this whole Joseph Park thing at all. I don't see why they consider it like their best angle going into it right now, but I like Bully Ray, so I hope Bully Ray wins and ends this thing. Or at the very least, they shock me and it actually ends up being entertaining. You looking up Joseph Park right now?
I'm actually pulling up for Bully Ray myself.
Bully Ray was Bubba Ray in WWE.
Yeah, and I remember watching him way back ECW days. So that's why I'd be rooting for just based off of that. But
yeah, but he's actually one of the best guys they have in TNA right now. It's kind of weird, but he's doing a great job. So hopefully he wins. Then we have the Knockouts Championship. Gail Kim defends against Brooke Tessmacher, otherwise known as Brooke Adams, otherwise known as Miss Tessmacher, otherwise known as Brooke from WWE, otherwise known as a Hooters girl on her time off because TNA doesn't pay well enough. So Brooke almost won the last match that they had between the two of them, and she was kind of getting pushed like that. So I actually kind of want Brooke to win, but I'm expecting Gail Kim to win, just because I want Brooke to. And TNA kind of does the opposite of what I like a lot of the time, like continue having a show. Yeah, I'm going with Gail, and maybe they can celebrate afterwards, and Robert Irvine can cook a nice dinner for her. Restaurant Impossible. Anybody that doesn't know?
No.
uh, maybe we could call this pay-per-view Impossible.
If only it was impossible, then it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Who do you think will win between these two?
I'm going to go with Gail Kim. It's the name I recognize.
You never remembered Brooke in WWE?
I remember a lot of Brooke from Hooters, but not as much from WWE. I think that was during my couple of years off of watching.
Yeah, she was in around like 2005 or so until maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right in the center of my break.
Yeah, can't blame you. Then we have the tag team championship. Kazarian and Daniels defend against the makeshift tag team of AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, who wrestled at the last pay-per-view. Hopefully, that would mean to me that Styles and Angle aren't going to win, because I hate it when people just randomly tag up and then become the tag team champions. Kazarian and Daniels have actually been working together for a little bit, so it makes sense to keep the tag titles on them. But they keep this feud going between the two of those and AJ Styles, so for all we know, they can have them win the titles and then drop them back or anything like that. I want Kazarian and Daniels to win. I expect Kazarian and Daniels to win, but not some 80% expectation. I got more of a 60-40 here because it's TNA. What do you think?
Um, Honestly, with what you were explaining, how they were wrestling in the last pay-per-view, you would expect there to be some type of, the tag team partners actually beating each other up, and then I guess they retain their titles, but you never know with TNA.
Right. Then we have the number one contenders match for a title shot at, I think, the next Impact, not the next pay-per-view, which that makes the big difference here. It's RVD, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson all in a triple threat match. You've got all three people have had their world titles. All three people, I guess you could say, would be justified in being a next champion. But at the same time, I hope RVD doesn't get another title shot. I hope Hardy doesn't. I hope it's Mr. Anderson, just because Anderson hasn't been working as much with Bobby Roode over the pay-per-views as much as Hardy and RVD have, and I just don't want to see that again for a possible next pay-per-view. If it is an Impact thing, they could always have an Impact title shot and then have a rematch at the pay-per-view, and that's why I kind of threw that in there. I don't know. I don't really think it matters, because I don't think any of these will be the person to beat Bobby Roode, but whatever ends up resulting in the best match, I honestly don't care. I'm not rooting for anybody in it.
You can't see me just because we're on the chat, but I'm doing the Rob Van Dam. That's what I'm rooting for.
Boo. You can hear me, and I'm not doing the Anderson repeating of everything. Nor am I doing the Jeff Hardy drugs.
Okay.
So you're rooting for Rob Van Dam?
Yeah. ECW days. If I don't know anything about him, might as well root for that guy.
And we're going to end it off with Bobby Roode defending his title against Sting. Didn't they already do this before, and it was already a pain in the ass before that? I don't want to see it. I hope that Sting doesn't win, and I hope that it's a short match, because I don't think that these two are going to end up having a great match. And I hope that Roode actually wins legitimately instead of some kind of cheap cop-out like they've been doing for the past couple pay-per-views. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think it'll be the match of the night. I don't think it should end the show, because I think it'll end weird. I would rather see Bobby Roode and Sting go before the number one contenders match, but I don't think that will. So I don't know. Not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to have that title match go before, and then the winner just sits out there and watches the triple threat match to see who they're going to face next.
Right.
But you never know.
It'll probably be the world title match will go first, and the number one contenders match will add 5 more people into the match, and Garett Bischoff will win.
Well, Burhan's not here, so Garett Bischoff isn't winning anything.
All right, well, that's it for Slammiversary. Make sure you check out the link below and follow the pay-per-view predictions and all that kind of stuff. We will be talking on the sidebar, little chat thing, and on the comments and everything like that. So take a look at that. We'll go over the results and the review of it next week. And that's actually it for episode 32. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out. See you next time. 5, 2, yeah! You're looking at the outro now.